lines very shortly to speak to private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu on what happened earlier today. Do we have Martin Kpebu on the line? Okay, let's quickly go over to the phone lines then and get to speak to private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu. Good evening, sir, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, Kwame Jumo.
Great. Yeah. Now, the Attorney General says that the Minerals and the Mining Act will be amended to make mining in the forest reserves outrightly illegal. Now, from a legal standpoint, how significant is this step?
This one, let's say this will be the final nail in the coffin. I say so because, the president had promised this. It's been for some time now. Since he took over, he said that no, this NDC administration is not allowing any mining in the forest reserve, etc. He said, I've heard it not less than 5 times. So once he repeated by the 3rd time, then I knew that this promise here, I don't see how the president can make a U-turn on it. So this repeal is just something as a matter of course. Yes. So the real excitement was the first time the president said there will be no mining in the forest reserve. Then the second time, that one, then it sounded like, hey, JM is serious. Then the 3rd time, that was it. The 3rd time finished it for me. I knew that, no, you can't make a promise on 3 occasions and then do a U-turn. So this is a huge improvement over President Kufuor's administration. Kufuor was tone deaf, extremely tone deaf. He was giving licenses for mining in forest reserves. And the most famous one, not just famous, the most critical one, very critical to our existence, okay? The existential threat to our water, that's Echiwa forest. Kufuor was going to allow mining in the Echiwa forest. So I sued for some CSOs in 2019, and I like telling nowadays, I like revealing this story that even because of that lawsuit, when I dared to sue that we should stop galamsey in the Chiwa forest, I lost my job with the company I was working for at that time. Yeah, in 3 minutes, my boss was like, you cannot sue government in such a case. I said, no, I will sue. Then he was like, okay, then you leave. Then I said, okay, I will go. And that was it. I lost the job. So you see that, this, where we are today, it's just like that's heaven. Because the previous administration was just bent on destroying all our forests in the name of finding us jobs. But if you look at the Chiwa forest, it is headwaters for 3 major rivers. That's the Ayensu, the Densu, and the Birim. These are 3. There are other smaller rivers, but these are the major ones. So if you drink water from Wager Dam, then that's one of them. I think that's the Ayensu, right? If it's not Ayensu, that's Densu, whichever one of them. So you see that's just one example. So for me, that's how come the moment President John Dramani Mahama said there will be no mining in the forest reserve. Oh, it was Christmas come early for me. Okay. And then as I stated earlier, he repeated it. Then I saw that he really meant business. So Dr. Ayini going to have the law repealed is just one of those lessons to make sure that, yes, the promise is fulfilled.
Okay. Now, Attorney General also disclosed that charges have now been signed against our chairman, Wontumi. How confident should we and the public be that this case would reach its logical conclusion?
We should be extremely confident. You remember that case too, myself and 3 other individuals, we first filed a complaint against Wontumi for mining in the Tanonimiri forest. So myself, Kwame Sapon-Isiedu, Ken Ashigbe, and then Edem Senano, we sent our petition to the CID in October 2022. But at that time, the CID boss for Sinando Kofi and then Dampari, politics. They were scared of Kufuor and Chairman Wontumi, so they kept playing hanky-panky with us, dilly-dallying, kukwasa, thinking that we'll give up. But come on, by now, you would know that I'm not one to give up easily. We kept sitting at it, and thank God eventually this new administration is moving the case to court. So we are extremely confident that this is one case that will bring huge accountability. Because you see, the day Chairman Wontumi will appear in court, and what I'm reading, that's on Monday, you know, the domino effect is going to have, it's going to scare the Galamsey, because it will be like, hey, Ghana has changed though. If Chairman Wontumi is before court on Galamsey, then we better stop, because in the next moment we'll also be arrested and then arraigned for court. So that's how come some of us kept campaigning that the Wontumi case must go to court. There is pictorial evidence. You'll find the evidence presented by Erastus Asaridonko. Yes, at the time we filed the petition with the CID, we attached a pen drive containing the videos that Erastus Asaridonko shot. You say, so there is evidence. You see the Akunta mining vehicle in the video, etc. So let's see how it pans out in court.
Now, with respect to these issues concerning big men, either on either side of the political divide, many Ghanaians feel that because they are heavily involved in this, they often escape punishments. Do you see this current prosecution as a turning point in holding people who are politically connected accountable?
Partially. I say partially because, you know, even, you see, when we say accountability, the word is very expansive. It's a broad word. It's not only when somebody goes to jail that we say that is accountability. Even when we name and shame them on radio, it's also accountability. Even when there's a change in administration and the person is no longer able to operate as he used to, it's also accountability. So, yes, it's possible we will call this Chairman Wontumi case, we'll call this Chairman Wontumi the poster child of holding big men accountable. But I can tell you that they've already, some are already being held accountable. One, through the new administration's blockade on Galamsey, right? And then those that we've named and shamed. You see, there are some MPs that have been mentioned, even though they've not been convicted by any court of law, but the public ridicule, you know, loss of reputation, etc., they've suffered. It's also accountability. I think right now, not less than 3 MPs have been cited and cited over and over. Oh, then also, you remember the case of Joseph Yamin and the other NDC executive. Yeah, you see, they had been reported to Yoko as well. So, really and truly, the Wontumi case cannot be the turning point as such, but in terms of the optics, yes, it's possible. So, we'll call it a poster child. So, Wontumi becomes a poster child, but not really the turning point as such. It makes it popular. Yes, so when you say Galamsey, the big fish, they say Wontumi, yes, it takes the box. But what I'm saying is that before Wontumi, others have already been held accountable in the various ways I've explained the term. So even when you take somebody to court, even assuming this Wontumi case, in the unlikely event that he were to win the case, will not say accountability has not happened. No. Another aspect of the accountability is that once we saw the Akunta mining car, the pickup in the video, etc., he would be asked, he will be shown those videos and asked to answer. So the response he gives is also a form of accountability, the explanation. And you see, when he gives the explanation, we, even in the public, will begin to make judgment of the case even before the judge does. So that's also accountability. So it's important that we appreciate that accountability is not only when the person is finally convicted and sent to Insawam, or the person is being found liable in the civil court and asked to pay money. No, that's just one of it. Yes, it's the most popular when the person is eventually found liable in the civil case or in jail. It's the most popular, but it's not the only form of accountability. Asking questions for the people to explain. I don't know if Wontumi has come to explain to us properly, officially, why his company vehicle was in that video. I'm not aware, because I've been on this thing for long. Number 2, Abu Jinapo, former minister for lands and forestry. It's on record. You see a video where he said it as part of news that they didn't give Chairman Wontumi and Akunta Mining any license to enter the Tano Nimiri Forest. So when Wontumi comes to answer how he entered Tano Nimiri Forest, that question and answer in itself is accountability, even before judgment. So you see, the same thing, Martin, you said the same thing against Wontumi, that they didn't give a Minerals Commission at the time. They didn't give him an Akunta Mining any license. So when he's asked, yes, Enchibosiako, that's Chairman Wontumi's real name. Bernard Enchibosiako, right? So your company was cited in the Tano Nimiri Forest. Can you show the license that gave you authorization? Then you answer. So I'm saying that the question and answer in itself is a form of accountability before we get to final judgment. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Kpebu, thank you for your time this evening. We appreciate you speaking to us. So that was our private legal practitioner, Martin Kpebu, there. Now, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, has also announced sweeping operational reforms, including the seizure, regulation, and tracking of excavators. He disclosed that 1,200 excavators were seized within a month of enforcement, causing congestion at the Tema port, where the military had to provide additional space for parking. Now, to prevent abuse, he explained that a new import approval regime has been introduced, requiring joint clearance from the Ministries of Lands, Transport and Finance, as well as the Minerals Commission. Let's have a listen to the Minister as he spoke on those subjects. I'll be bringing you that very shortly. We'll have a listen to the Honourable Minister.
Every excavator was coming, and I told you, His Excellency summoned us to pay attention to the import of excavators. Within 1 month, we had seized 1,200 excavators, and there was no space at the Tema port. So we had to have a meeting to decide between the Minister of Transport, Finance, and my ministry, what we can do to decongest. We were lucky to get the military to give us a place, and that is where most of those excavators were lifted. And what happened? You couldn't move these excavators and add on to the traffic. So it was decided that we should move them when the traffic were gone. And so that is really the story of those movement of excavators. I can tell you now that as we speak, that we have DVLA office station at Tema Port working closely with the Minerals Commission. What are they doing? Every excavator, before you even import it, the new inspection regime, the new review is that you have to be approved to import excavator.
So that was the Honourable Minister of Lands and Forestry, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa. We'll go over to the phone lines now and get to speak to security consultant Richard Kumadu, who has joined us on the line. Sir, good evening and thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Great. Now, the president says that the focus is now on kingpins, not youth miners. How realistic is that for enforcement?
But definitely, what they have done over the years is not to just do frontline arrest, but to get the criminals in chains. So that means that they are taking custody of all the persons within and all the activities within. Probably what the president is saying is that focus more on the financiers and not the frontliners. But if we have the frontliners, they will also lead us to who the financiers are. So it's a shared responsibility, and I think the prosecutors will need to work more in terms of law enforcement.
Now, excavators are now tracked and geofenced. Could the system still fail in practice?
It depends on what the excavator is being used for. You remember he enumerated that there are various agencies and institutions that import excavator into this country. I think we have not managed that space properly. Then if you listen to what Festus Abuaje said, he said, invariably, we have been mining in this country for many years. It was the day we started imposing excavators onto our water bodies and into our forests. Then you are creating a devastating effect for almost everybody. So Colonel Festus Abuaje is saying is that take away the hard equipment from the mining side, at least from the hands of the inappropriate miners, then you are going to stop the devastation of our water bodies and the forests we are seeing.